Hi, I'm Robin, the Sudoku Guy. Welcome to the second lesson. Last lesson we looked at horizontal blocks, where we looked at these blocks of 9 across this way, and this way. And we were using the principle of top, middle, bottom to work out where the numbers went. Each of these blocks has a top and a middle and a bottom. Now today we're going to introduce you to another step to solve these puzzles, and it's called the LCR. And you may wonder, what does that mean? Well, it refers to left, center and right. I'll explain that more in detail later on, but let's get going and solve this puzzle. We'll go through the same procedure as we did for the last puzzle. First of all, we look at ones. There's only one 1, so forget it. Twos. All the 2s are there, top, middle and bottom, so forget it, they're done. Threes, there's only one 3, no 3 here or here, so forget it, don't worry about it. Fours, there's only one 4, there's not one here or here, so forget about it. Fives, there's not one 5 there, so we'll push on to 6. Now there are 2 6s. We have a 6 in this block on the bottom, we have a 6 in this block in the middle. Therefore, this block that doesn't have a 6, it has to be on the top. And there's only one place for it to go, and that is there. Let's do 7s now. We have 2 7s. We have a 7 on the bottom here in this block, a 7 at the top here. Therefore, a 7 has to go in here. So we put a little 7 there and a little 7 there, and now we come to the next important step. We look down the column to see if there is a 7, because you can't have 2 7s in a column. And yes, there is a 7 there, so that cancels out this 7. So therefore, this 7 becomes the real big 7. 8. There's only one 8. Forget it. 9. There's 2 9s. There's a 9 on the top in this block. There's a 9 on the bottom of this block. Therefore, top, bottom, it has to be in the middle, so this becomes a 9. Look down, there's no 9s here, so we're fine. Let's now go to these 3 blocks. 1s to begin with. Well, we have a 1 on the top here in this block. We have a 1 on the top here in this block. Therefore, we need a 1 in the... Well, here we have a 1 on the bottom of this block, sorry. And therefore, in this block, the 1 has to be in the middle, and there's only one place for it to go, and that's there. Oh, that's neat. Next, go to the 2s. There's only one 2, forget it. 3s, we've got all the 3s, bottom, middle, and a top. 4s, we have 2 4s, a top and a bottom. Therefore, the 4s need to go over here. So you can do it 2 ways. You can do 4, 4, 4, and then look up and down. Well, let's do that. If you look down here, there's a 4 already. So that cancels out that 4. And if you look here, down... There's no 4s, but here, when you look up, there's a 4 there, so that cancels out that 4. So the real 4 will go there. Let's look at now at 5s. We have a 5 here and a 5 here, a bottom and a top. It has to be over there in the middle. So we put 2 little 5s there, little 5 there and there. And I look up and down, there's no other 5s, so leave it for the time being. 6s, well, here we have 2 6s. We have a 6 on the top in this block. We have a 6 on the bottom in this block. And we have a 6 needs to be in these 2 cells. So we can put 2 little 6s in. But if you look upwards here, you'll notice that there's a 6 already in that column. So that cancels that 6 out. This becomes your 6th. Big number. 7s. There's only one 7. Okay. 8s. I don't see any 8s. 9s, there's only one 9, so we push down to these 3 horizontal blocks. Take the 1s. We have a top, a middle, and a bottom. Done. Forget about it. Fixed. 2s, there's no 2s. There's no 2s in either of these 3 blocks. 3s, yes, there's one 3. That's not good enough. We need 2 of them. 4, we have 2 4s, a top here and a bottom here. So therefore, the 4s have to go in the middle. Now, we'll put a 4 in here, a 4 in here, and a 4 in here. And we look up. Oh, look here, there's a 4 there. So that means that this cannot be a 4. We've already got a 4, but those 2 could be because there's no 4 up above them. So there's That's all we can do for the time being. It just stays little numbers. Fives. There's only one 5, I think. 6. Yes, this is an interesting one. We have a bottom, we have a middle, and we have a top. And now if I put a 6, it can be any one of these 3. But when we look up here on this column, that 6 cancels out this one. And we look take this 6 here and go up, that 6 cancels out this one, which means that this has to be the real 6, because the only one left. 7s. There's 2 7s, a middle, a bottom. Therefore, in this one, it has to be on the top. There's no 7 there, and it has to go there. And 8s. There's 2 8s. We have an 8 on the top here. We have an 8 in the middle here. Therefore, in this block, the 8 has to be in the bottom. So we do an 8 there and an 8 there, and look up. Ooh, there's no 8s on either of them, so we keep the little 8s there. Now, that's completed what we learnt last lesson. But now we come to the next step. The left, center, and right. It's called LCR. Left, center, and right. What do I mean by that? These are vertical columns, and they have a left column, a center column, and a right column. Similarly here, a left column, center right, right column. Same over here. And we're going to do it this way. Watch how I do it. Once again, we'll start with 1s and go up to 9. Let's take the 1s. We have 1 on the left, 1 on the center, and 1 on the right. Done. Fixed. Don't worry about it. 2. There's only 1 2 in these 3 blocks. 3s. Well, we have 2 3s. We have a 3 in the center. We have a 3 on the left. Therefore, the 3 has to be over on the right in this block. And there's only one place for it to go, so it replaces that 4. And this is the neat thing when you put 2 little numbers in. Once you've done that, you know that that has to be a 4, because we figured out that that's the only 2 places a 4 could go. What about 4s? Well, we have 2 4s now. We have a 4 here, center, a 4 on the left. So therefore, up in here, a 4 has to be on the right. Well, there's only one place for a 4 can go. If I put it there and there, that won't work, will it? So we will rub that one out because there's a 4 over there. So this becomes the 4. Okay, pushing right along. 5s. We've only got 1 5. Don't worry, move on. 6s. We've got our 6s. Look at this. We have a right, a left, and a center. 7s. We've got our 7s. Fantastic. What I wanted to point out to you is this word up here. See that word RAM? When we do the vertical, we look to see if whatever number we put in, what does that lead to in terms of another number? And let me show you something here. Let me see, what new numbers did we put in? We put in a 9. That didn't have any effect because we've got all our 9s there now. The 4. Oh, this 4 had a ramification. Look, if you look across here, that 4 means that you've got a 4 in the middle here now. 4, 4, 4. Because top, middle, and bottom. Now that 4 is very valuable. Just because we looked for RAM. Now, did I put a new 3 in? Did that help us at all? No, it didn't. What is another new number that I put in? I put in a 3 here. We've got that number, but that didn't have any ramifications. 4s, and that 4 finished up these 3 4s. So we're doing all right. Let's take the 5. We didn't have anything with 5. 6s, we did the 6s. 7s, 7s are done. 9s, this is interesting. Look at this. Here's a left. There's a right. This block doesn't have a 9, and it therefore has to be in the center, so it will go there. Okay, pushing right along. Now we'll do these 3 vertical blocks and include RAM as well. Let's take the 1s. Well, here's a 1 in the center. Here's a 1 in the right. Whatever goes in this block has to be on the left. And we could put it there, or we could put it there. But guess what? We look over here and there's a 1 already there. So that cancels out that 1. This becomes the 1. And now let's look at the ramification of that 1. We have now 2 1s in this horizontal section. 1, 1, a bottom and a top. Therefore, there's got to be a 1 over here in these 2 little ones. Now let's look down. Same principle, you look down, oh, there's a 1 here. So that cancels out this 1. and therefore this one becomes the 1. Was that ever neat, seeing the ramification of that? You know, sometimes you can go right around the whole puzzle filling in numbers just because of ramification. Using the top, middle, bottom and LCR, left, center, right system. I have just noticed something, and that is in this row, we've only got one cell left. Why not fill it in? What would it be? Let's count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 5, so we'll put a 5 there. And now that block has only got 1 left in it. What number would that be? 1, 2, 3. 3 is missing. Now, want any ramifications of that one? Yes, look at the ramifications of this one. Bottom, middle, this has to be a 3. Wow, what a difference it makes when you look for ramifications. Now, what I was up to doing down here, we got up to 2. We have 2. This block has got a 2. We're continuing on with the vertical blocks. This one's got a 2. This one's got a 2. That's a left. That's a right. That's a center. This one has to be on the left, and there's 2 little ones. I look this way and this way. There's no other 2s. Leave them small for the time being. 3s. Well, here's a 3, and there's a 3. A right, a left. Therefore, it has to be in the center. So this becomes a 3. Now, is there any ramifications of that? No, there isn't, because we now got all the 3s across. Fantastic. 4s. 4s are done. We have a center, a left, and a right. 5s. We have 1 5. That doesn't help us. 6s. We have a center, a right, and a left. We're done. 7s. We have a center, a left, so this one has to have it on the right. Left, center, right. That's the only place it can go. Okay, now what's the ramification of doing that? Well, here is a middle, there's a top. This one has to be on the bottom, so it goes there. Any ramifications of that? No, all these 7s are done now. Okay, let's do 8s. In these 3 blocks, there's only 1 8, so we push on to 9s. 9s. In these 3 blocks, we have only 1 9, so leave it. Now we'll go and do vertical blocks on these 3 going down. Let's take the 1s. 1s, and we got a right, we got a left, we got a center. We're set. 2s. We've got 1 2 here, and that's all. Leave it. 3s. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, I can see how you put another number in. Don't worry. Those steps are going to come later in the course. Okay? Center, a right, and a left. They're done. 4. Right, left, center. Done. 5s. We have 1 5 here. That cancels out this 5. So this becomes a 5. Okay? And that works out. You can always check yourself. Look. Left, center, right. Yes, we did it right. Okay? 6s. 6, we have a 6 here, a 6 here, and a 6 there. We have a center, a left, and a right. We're doing fine. 7s. We're done with the 7s here. Done. 8s. We have 2 8s. We have 2 8s. We have a center, and we have a left. This block has a left. This block has a center, therefore this block has to have it on the right, so that becomes an 8. Now what does that mean? We've now got this block that's only got 1 number left. We can work out what that is very quickly by going 1, 2, 3, oh, it's a 2. Didn't even get to 9. Okay. Now once we've got that 2 in, we look for the ramifications. We have a right, we have a center, and this has got to be on the left, so that's the only place it can go. Now what's the ramification of putting that there? Well, that means it cancels out this 2. So that 2's gone, therefore that becomes the big 2. You see how that works? The ramification can just be so powerful. You get so many numbers, little numbers and big numbers. Now I look at this block here. I notice that there's only 1 cell left. Let's count up, find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 9. Now to check ourselves, we have a center, a right, and a left. We've done it right. Whee! Okay, now we're at the stage where we're going to be looking for blocks and rows and so on that have maybe only got one cell left. Well, here's a column that's only got one left, and the number missing is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 5, so the 5 goes in there. Fantastic. Okay, now we have a block here that only has one left in it. Let's count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has to be a 9. We can double check ourselves by going bottom, middle, top. Now this row here only has one left in it. Let's count up, find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5 that's missing. And now we've got this column with only one number left. And guess what it's going to be? It's got to be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8. We've got a 9 there. So that becomes the 8. So that no longer is an 8. But that block here has only got one cell left. It is a 2, I believe. 1, 2. Yes, there's 2 missing in there. Now, what's the ramification of that? Anything? Let's find out. Look, here is something that I hadn't noticed before, because this happens a lot with ramification. You've missed it. When I put that 2 in, I didn't look this way. And look, we have a 2 and a 2. Therefore, this becomes a 2, because it's a top, a middle, and a bottom. Now, this particular block has only got one left in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8. Okay? 8. So we have a left, we have a right, we have to have a center. That becomes an 8. Now this row has only got one left. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5 that's missing. We'll put the 5 in. Okay. Now this column here only has one left. Is that correct? Oh, and this row only has one left, and this row has only one left. We're getting close to the end. Okay, here we go with, let me see now. We'll do this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's got to be an 8. And that's a middle, bottom, top. Yes, we did it right. What about this row here? We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got to be a 9. And we just, if you want to check yourself, you go right, center, left. Okay, this column has only got one left in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's a 5. 5 goes there. And therefore this block has only got one left in it. Or you could do it, this column has only got one left in it. Take your pick. And I think it's an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And voila, whoopee, we've completed a puzzle. What have we done? We've done horizontal blocks, and then we've done vertical blocks with ramifications. And then when we've done all that, we looked for rows, columns, and blocks with only one cell left. Easy. Now, I should give you some heads up on this. We're still doing the very easy puzzles. Don't think that you can now go out and buy a book and they're all the easy ones in the book are going to be easy. You know what I've found? Let me talk a bit about books. There's lots of them on the market, and there's advantages and disadvantages. One thing about the books is that I've found sometimes they'll say it is easy, and it's not. Sometimes they'll say it is difficult, and it's easy. So they're not always that very accurate, but generally speaking, the larger the number of initial numbers, the easier it is. But that's only a general comment, not always the case. Also, if you're going to go out and buy a book, may I suggest, at least for me anyway, with my bad eyes, I buy a book that's got fairly large little cells in it. If you buy a book that's got 3 or 4 puzzles on one page, it becomes too small and it gets very messy with all the little numbers and so on. So if you can get a book that's got bigger little cells in the puzzle, maybe one puzzle a page is a great way to go. But that's up to you, of course. There's another thing about books. They've got the answers at the back. And it's so easy to cheat. Try and avoid doing that if you can. Okay? Now, there are going to be some times where you can look at the back of the book to see if you've made a right decision. But it's very dangerous because you tend to see other numbers, and that's not good. So that's it for today's lesson. Next lesson, we go on to some more advanced work, and looking forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.